Hey guys, this video is for our kindergarten and first grade leaders for October week 3. The theme for the month of October is more or less. The choice is yours, and our life app for this whole month is contentment, deciding to be okay with what you have. Week 1, we learned about Paul and how he learned that God can help us be okay no matter what. Last week we talked about money, and our bottom line was stuff can't keep you happy. And this week our story comes from the book of 1 Kings, about King Ahab and Naboth's vineyard. And our bottom line is wanting what others have can make you miserable. Such a great bottom line. Our memory verse for the month is, "Then he said to them, watch out, be on your guard against wanting to have more and more things. Life is not made up of how much a person has." Luke 12:15. So just remember, if you have any kids in your small group that haven't been here yet this month, make sure they take one of these envelopes home. Inside, they will find their parent cue and their memory verse card, as long as a fall bucket list for their family, just because we're practicing being content with what we have this month, so doing some things with our family. And also, we have some God Time cards. Starting next month, they will be found on our parent resource wall. But if kids bring these back, they get to go to the monster that's out by the birthday bear and pull out a bag of candy. Also, if they have their memory verse memorized, they can go with their parent to the monster, and some odd turns will be standing there. If they can tell the odd turns their memory verse, they also get to pull out a bag of candy. So encourage them to learn that memory verse. Jumping into our activities for this week, make sure as you serve that you arrive at 8:30 and 10:30 so that you can pray together with your team. And also just be praying for your kids. Just ask God to help kids discern the difference between feelings of jealousy and just kind of how that can lead to anger, and that He would give the kids wisdom and insight to know what to do next. Hold on 1 minute. When kids start to roll in at 8:40 and 10:40, you're going to have some paper and colored pencils on your cart. And first you want to greet all your kids. Make sure you know all their names. Make sure any first-time guests feel welcome. And then you're going to instruct kids, you're going to have them pair up and face a partner. So as they kind of come in, partner them up and give each kiddo a piece of paper and some colored pencils and tell them to look as miserable or as unhappy as they can. And then have them draw their partner's face. And then tell them to look as happy as they can and have them draw their partner's face on the other side of the paper. So one side of the paper should be miserable, one side should be happy. Then when service starts and all your kiddos are there at 9 and 11, you're going to play head, shoulders, knees, grape. So you will have one balloon for each partnership, I think. Although it might just be for your group. I can't remember. Let me read through. So you're going to have kids pair up and they're going to face their partner. And you're going to put a balloon on the floor in between each pair. So you have a balloon for each partner. And you're going to tell kids that you're going to shout either head, shoulders, knees, or grape. And whenever you shout the word, the kids should touch their own head, shoulders, or knees. And if you shout out grape, they have to try to grab the grape or the balloon before their partner does. So you're going to call out a series of body parts like head, knees, knees, head, shoulders, knees, head, grape. And then the kid who doesn't get the grape sits down. So then all the kids who grab the grape, they're going to pair up with somebody else who is still standing. And then they'll play again. And you'll keep playing until you just have one kid left. So you could play this as a whole group, maybe instead of... Hi, Lola. Instead of just in your small group. So then to close that up, you're going to say, guys, that game was really fun. And it makes me think that there might be something about grapes in our Bible story today. So let's go down to large group and find out. I'm making my video at home this week, in case you couldn't tell. It's a little bit crazy here. So then you'll head across the hall to large group. Like always, just make sure you sit and help your group worship and listen. When you get back from large group, you're going to do a review activity called What Will You Give Me? So you have your contentment option pictures. And then you're going to have a box filled with some dollar store. They're actually like slap bracelets. And then there's going to be some nicer items in this box also. So, excuse me, Henry. So these are the little cards that we were talking about. One says, read, oh, sorry, Lola. She's okay. No crying. We're all good. Henry, can you just quit for a minute while I'm doing this? One says, read God's word. One says, ask God for help. And one says, talk to God. So what you're going to do is you're going to line kids up side by side so that you're facing you, and then you're going to set the box on the floor by your feet. And you're going to explain that as a group, kids are going to say, small group leader. So, Katie, what will you give me? And Henry, get off. In the manner that you assign them, such as whispering or shouting out loud, or maybe getting softer, or saying it as fast as they can, or jumping on each word. Can you get off my lap, please, so that I can do this? Thank you. Nope, get off my lap, please. Yeah. So after they ask the question, then you'll call each kid's name to come to you. So you might say, okay, Skip, when you come, and get an item of your choosing from the box. And you're going to continue till all of the kids have an item. And then you want to make sure that you've given over all of the bigger items from the box and guide kids to sit in a small group with you. So Henry might say, Katie, what will you give me? And I'll say, okay, Henry, crab walk to me. And then he would crab walk to me, and I would hand him something out of the box. And then the next kid, Trip, would say, Katie, what will you give me? And I would say, oh, Trip, you need to skip to me. And he would skip over to me, and I'd give him something from the box. So then once all the kids have something, you're going to sit in a circle, and you're going to say, okay, guys, if you have one of the nicer items from the box, how does that make you feel? What if you have one of the not so nice items? How does that make you feel? Well, we're learning that wanting what others have can make you miserable. So I don't know that any of you are exactly miserable with the not so nice things, but when you compare them to the nicer things, it can make it harder to be content with what you got, right? So what can we do when we don't feel content? And have the kids give you responses. And you're saying the last 2 weeks we've talked about 3 things we can do when we need to be content. And then those, Henry, can you just sit up over here, please, while I'm doing this? Thank you. And those are those, mom life coming in hardcore right now, guys. Lola is trying to not fall over. Henry is being a little moody. All good. Those are these cards. These are what we can do when we're not feeling content. We can ask God for help. We can talk to God. And we can read God's Word. Okay, you guys are just really special today. Okay. Quit, Henry. Quit. So, then you're just going to, Henry, go get. Oh my God. Guys, I hope you're laughing at this and not getting super annoyed, because I'm getting super annoyed. All right. So you're going to say, so I'm going to let you guys take those not so nice items home with you. And those are the little slap bracelets. And for those of you that got the nicer items, you don't get to take those home, but you do get one of these. So they do get a slap bracelet. They're going to give the nice items like the Legos and stuff back. So now, like we did a couple weeks ago, let's think of ways that we can use the items that we have here in a way that will make us happy. So maybe they could give it to their little brother or sister. They could play it with their friends. They could bring it to school. And you're just say, those were some great ideas. And I want you to try some of those when you get home. And then maybe collect those slap bracelets and give them back to the kids as they leave so they're not distracting for the rest of the service. So then for your memory verse review activity, you're going to have this little paper clip. And these are all the little phrases to the memory verse. And what you're going to do is you're going to set the 2 separate piles of phrases at one end of your space. So you're just going to split these phrases into 2 separate piles. And then you're going to divide the kids into 2 teams, and you're going to guide the teams to stand across your space from the 2 piles. I'm just kidding. You're going to have 2 sets of these. So you'll have 2 sets of the memory verses. And then when you say go, the kids are going to take turns running to the piles to pick up a piece, bring it back, tag the next person. They'll go get the next piece, and so on. And as soon as the team has all of their pieces, they're going to put their verse in order. And unless something gets wonky, the team with the memory verse phrases number 1 should easily win the game. So one of them has there's several less pages. And the other one has where it's just like 1 word per page. So you're going to really congratulate the winning team. Wow, you guys did awesome. You won. That's so great. And then the other team is going to be like, hey, that's not fair. We had way more cards. Look, they have 4 words on a card, and we only have 1 word on a card. And you're just going to close down by saying, Henry, just go sit on the chair, please, till I'm done. Yes. So you're going to close down by saying, guys, was that game fair? Why or why not? So sometimes we think that having more and more things is going to make us content. But this game shows us that having more isn't always the best, right? The team that had more pieces didn't have a fair chance at winning the game. So let's read the verse and see what it says about having more and more things. Last week we talked about being on your guard, and this week we know that we should be on our guard against wanting more and more things. So let's remember this game the next time that we think having more things will make us content. Sorry, I'm wrapping up quickly because my video is going really long. Sorry. And then for prayer, just ask kids to think of something that someone else has that they really want. And then just guide kids to echo the prayer below. You'll just say a phrase and they'll repeat it. So, dear God, and they would say, dear God, thank you for the things, and they repeat it. So, and then you'll just close it down. As adults arrive, make sure the kids take their little slap bracelets and encourage adults to ask their kids what they learned about contentment. So that's it. Sorry for the chaos. Hopefully your living rooms look like mine and they just have laundry and baby toys and 3-year-olds sitting on top of babies. Just, welcome to the chaos, right? All right. Thank you guys for serving. Love you all. So grateful for you. We'll see you on Sunday.